You ever sit down to watch an episode thinking, okay, I know what to expect, I've seen this before, and then suddenly your entire jaw just detaches from your face because the show hits you with something so visually insane, so narratively wild, that you almost forget you're watching TV and not witnessing history. Yeah, that was me last night with Foundation Season 3, Episode 7. And I'll be honest with you, I thought I was prepared. I thought I knew the tricks this show had left, but then Brother Day happened. That sequence, you know exactly the one I'm talking about, just completely rewired my brain. I mean, let me ask you something. When was the last time any C for show gave you a scene that felt that monumental? Star Wars? Maybe. Dune. Sure, in film form. But this, on Apple TV, this was something else. And if you weren't impressed, then I honestly have to wonder if you were even paying attention, or if you blinked and missed the greatest flex of visual storytelling Foundation has pulled off so far. Here's what's wild, though for months, people have been dragging this season. Too slow? Too much philosophy? Too disconnected. But this episode silenced the critics for at least one night. And it makes me ask the real question, has Foundation been playing a long con on us, luring us into a state of patience? Frustration even, only to hit us with a sequence that proves. No, reminds us that this is Prestige C, Fi on a level most shows can't even touch. But let's break it down piece by piece. Because what Brother Day pulled off isn't just cool visuals. It's layered, it's symbolic, it's terrifying, and it has some secrets baked in that most people watching probably didn't catch. Before we peel that back, though, I need to loop you in on something. This channel, an episode, it survives because of people like you. If you're the kind of person who doesn't just watch TV, but dissects it, questions it, obsesses over it late at night the way I do, then I'm telling you, subscribe right now. Because trust me, the things I've uncovered about this episode, you're not going to find them in your average review. All right, let's talk about Brother Day. That sequence wasn't just a spectacle, it was a statement. It was Brother Day saying, I am inevitable. It was the genetic dynasty flexing its last remaining power. But hidden underneath the neon glare and the symphony of destruction, there's this creeping sense that Day knows it's all slipping away. That no matter how many walls he blows through, how many enemies he grinds into dust, the dynasty itself is doomed. And that's the genius of the show. Because on the surface, we're all gawking at the scale of it, the choreography, the impossible precision. But on a deeper level, the forbidden knowledge is that this is a man raging against time itself. The last flare of a candle before it burns out. And the showrunners knew we'd fall for the spectacle, but they layered it with tragedy, with irony, with something that's going to haunt the rest of the season. Let me throw a question at you. What if this sequence isn't just about Brother Day's power, but about his irrelevance? What if it's not a celebration of his strength, but the beginning of the end? Because if you've been paying attention, the cracks in the dynasty aren't just narrative, they're philosophical. Hari Seldon's plan doesn't just predict the fall of empire. It predicts the fall of ego. And Brother Day's ego. It just went supernova in episode 7. Here's where I get chills, the parallels between this sequence and Day's predecessors. Look back at season 1, look at the other Cleans. Every day thinks he's the exception. Every day thinks he's untouchable. But every single one of them ends up proving Seldon right. It's almost like the genetic dynasty is cursed to repeat itself until extinction. And episode 7, it's the clearest reminder yet that this empire is doomed not because of outside forces, but because of the dynasty's own design. Its own arrogance, its own refusal to evolve. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I know what you're thinking right now. James, are you saying that Brother Day's most badass moment is actually proof of his downfall? Yes, exactly. That's the forbidden truth nobody wants to admit. Because look, I'll admit it. I was cheering. I was hyped. I was like, yes! Destroy everything. You glorious narcissist! But by the time the scene was over, I couldn't shake the feeling that what we just watched was the Empire's last great performance. The fireworks before the silence. And that's why this episode has me conflicted. Because on the one hand, Foundation just delivered one of the most jaw-dropping spectacles in modern TV. But on the other hand, I can't help but feel like I just watched the funeral march of the dynasty disguised as a victory parade. And if that's true, then Foundation isn't just good TV, it's prophetic TV, it's storytelling on a level that demands obsession, demands rewatching, demands breakdowns like this one. But let's pause here. I want to throw this at you directly. Did that Brother Day sequence make you feel triumphant? Or did it secretly feel tragic? Drop it in the comments because I honestly want to see if anyone else caught that undertone. And if you're new here, welcome. You just stepped into the kind of breakdown where we don't just watch, we unravel. Here's the thing, Foundation Season 3, Episode 7 didn't just show us Brother Day, it practically redefined him. And that right there is where the debate gets fiery. Because while fans are losing their minds over the visual brilliance, others are asking, did we just witness style overshadow substance? Let's pause on that thought. Because if you peel back the visuals, the sweeping choreography, the operatic tension, the grandeur of the set design, you'll realize something hidden in plain sight. This wasn't just another episode. It was a coded message about power, corruption, and the illusion of control. Brother Day wasn't simply commanding the scene, he was desperately clawing to hold on to relevance. That's what blew me away. Not just the spectacle, but the undertone of fragility masked behind strength. And let's be real, Foundation has had its share of divisive moments. Some episodes feel like they're dragging cosmic philosophy through molasses. Others, they rush so fast that characters we love get lost in the shuffle. But here, episode 7 managed to balance the unbalance. And that's why, love it or hate it, it demands to be talked about. Now let me ask you something, because this is where I want every single one of you in the comments. Did you feel this sequence actually elevated Brother Day into one of sci-fi's most unforgettable rulers? Or did it feel like smoke and mirrors, a fireworks show to distract from weaker storytelling? Don't dodge the question. Answer it below. And speaking of dodging, yes, I know some of you are already saying, James, you're exaggerating again. You always do this. And fine, I'll admit it. I do get carried away. But think about it. When was the last time Foundation gave us something that felt this alive, this dangerous, this unapologetically cinematic? If you can name an earlier scene that tops this, I'll roast myself in the next episode. But here's the secret no one wants to say out loud. This wasn't just about Brother Day at all. This was about the system of clones itself cracking under pressure. The cracks are spreading. The Cleonic dynasty isn't just bending, it's on the verge of snapping. Now imagine if episode 7 was the pivot, the point in history when the genetic dynasty finally realizes perfection is impossible, control is a myth, and legacy is fragile. That, my friends, is forbidden knowledge. Because if you accept that, then every Brother Day we've seen so far has been living on borrowed time. So let me toss out a hypothetical. What if Brother Day knows it too? What if, in that stunning display, in that grandeur and spectacle, he was silently screaming, "Don't forget me. Don't let me vanish into the cycle." Think about it. A ruler who knows he's both eternal and completely disposable. That paradox right there. That's the kind of storytelling Foundation fans have been begging for. And here's my wildest theory. I'm almost afraid to say it out loud. What if episode 7 is laying the groundwork for the end of the dynasty itself? What if this isn't Brother Day's crowning moment, but his obituary in disguise? Tell me honestly, am I reaching, or is this exactly the kind of foreshadowing we've all been blind to? Drop your take in the comments, because I guarantee when the finale lands, we're going to come back to this conversation and realize it was all right here. Now here's where I really want you to lean in, because if episode 7 was this visually explosive, then what on earth is episode 8 going to be? How do you top this? The tension isn't just in the narrative anymore, it's in the fandom itself. Some of you will riot if it gets better. Others will riot if it doesn't. That's the tightrope Foundation is walking, and let me tell you, it's wobbling. So here's the question that's been haunting me since the credits rolled. Was this sequence the peak of Foundation Season 3, or the warning bell that the peak is about to collapse?